first question, music based. This artist has the most solo #1 albums of all time. Currently. It's multiple choice. Do you want the multiple choice?
Yeah.
Coward. Stevie Wonder, Jay-Z, Anita Baker, or Beyonce?
Solo #1 albums.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get this wrong. Yeah. My first choice is Beyonce, but I also want to say Stevie Wonder. So I'll say Beyonce.
Is that what you're going with?
Final answer.
Your final answer? It is now Beyonce. She recently passed Jay-Z. Yeah, so it was Jay-Z had it, then Beyonce tied him, and now Beyonce passed him with Renaissance. So it is now Beyonce. You are correct, sir. All right, let me find a good one. All right. This is the most sampled artist of all time in hip-hop music. It's not, I ain't gonna make this multiple choice. It's a soul singer who is now dead.
James Brown.
Yeah. How easy was that?
So because I like old school hip hop and like I know that like his songs and like his like drum patterns are sampled a lot. I know that. I don't know if a lot of other people would know that.
Most people aren't gonna know that. My older cousins guessed it though, but not many younger folk have guessed it.
That's a good question.
Thank you, sir. That was a deep dive. I did a deep dive for that one. This is the only artist in Grammy history to win Album of the Year with 3 consecutive albums. Do you want the multiple choice yet or not?
Say that. Repeat the question.
The only artist in Grammy history to win Album of the Year with 3 consecutive albums. So 3 years in a row.
Oh, Prince.
No, sir.
Yeah.
You get 2 more guesses.
3 consecutive albums.
Yep. 3 years in a row, this artist won Album of the Year. Boom, boom, boom,
I'll be honest with you, I know she hasn't won album this year. That's why people are mad right now.
Correct, right?
It's not Mariah Carey either.
Correct, it's not.
Is it Michael Jackson?
No, sir. You get one more guess.
I said Prince. I said Michael Jackson. So my last.
I'll give you a hint. It is a man.
Is it Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, you got it. It's Stevie Wonder. Like when I do research for these, I've always known Stevie Wonder is a legend. I didn't realize just how massive he was though back in the 70s and 80s. Like he was that nigga for real. Like he was winning award after award and producing everything. Like he was that man. And when you hear stories about him, I do get it why people will make fun and say they don't really think he's blind. Because when you hear stories, it's like, he don't really sound like he's blind. Like, have you heard the story where Shaq talks about him?
I haven't heard a Shaq story. I heard Anthony Anderson tell a story about how I think he was backstage at some kind of show and Stevie Wonder walks right up to him and asked if he could like show him to somewhere. And he was like, well, damn, you walked up to me. Like, you can find it yourself.
Well, Shaq tells a story. He said him and Stevie Wonder used to live in the same building. And so I think he said Stevie Wonder was already in there, like with someone waiting for the elevator. And no, I think, yeah. And so Shaq walks in and he says, Stevie Wonder turns and says, hey, Shaq. He said, wait a minute. How did you know it was me? He said,
I mean, he's probably not like, I was gonna say he's probably not completely blind, like just mostly blind, but he can still like make people out.
Like can see their shape, their silhouette or something. It's still funnier this way. It's still funnier. Traditional Juneteenth foods and drinks are what color?
The food and drinks?
Yeah, a traditional food and drinks are associated to this color for Juneteenth.
Is it one color?
What you say?
Just one color?
Uh-huh.
Traditional food and drinks. Is it red?
Yeah, how'd you guess that?
I was thinking of like the red, black, and green flag, and was like, well, it makes more sense for it to be red than green food and drinks.
Do you know why it's red for Juneteenth?
I'm gonna guess, is it because like the blood of slaves?
Yes, now you are so annoying, bro. Yes, it symbolizes the blood shed by enslaved ancestors due to the transatlantic slave trade. It's so smart, nigga. Wait a minute, have you gotten every question right so far?
I mean, the three number one albums or 3 albums of the year thing, I had multiple guesses. I got it on the last one.
So we'll say you're 3 for 4 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Becoming the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard, this prominent Black figure who helped form the NAACP in 1909 attended Fisk University and was one of the most influential spokesmen of the 20th century.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Damn, was that easy? Did you already know that?
I knew he was the first Black person to get a PhD from Harvard. After that, I already knew who it was.
All right. Who was the first casualty of the American Revolution when he was shot and killed in what became known as the Boston Massacre?
Crispus Attucks.
What prominent Black figure was also known as Detroit Red?
Malcolm X.
All right. This poem, written by James Weldon, was originally performed for Abraham Lincoln's birthday in 1905. But in 1919, it became a song associated. Okay, nigga.
Lift Every Voice, yeah.
What gave it away?
James Weldon Johnson.
God dang it. What state has the most HBCUs?
That's a good question, because I want to say Georgia, but I'm sure it's not Georgia. My second guess would be North Carolina.
North Carolina is actually number 2.
Oh. This first one, Texas.
Alabama.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Alabama has 14 HBCUs. Now,
Wow.
This state has the most students enrolled in HBCUs. So it has the highest number of enrolled students at a HBCU. What state?
North Carolina.
Yes. Did you only get that because the last time I said North Carolina was number 2?
That helped.
What is the first Black-owned business listed on the New York Stock Exchange? This is multiple choice. I'll give you the multiple choice. Is it Johnson Publishing, which produced magazines like Ebony and Jet? Was it Madam C.J. Walker's Manufacturing Company, BET, or Motown Records? You want those again?
No, I got them.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess Johnson Publishing.
Why?
Kind of process of elimination. BET isn't like its own thing. It's owned by Viacom. Madam C.J. Walker, you didn't even name her company, so I feel like that's not on the New York Stock Exchange, or never was.
No, I said C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company. That's the name of her company.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just never heard of it. And then I know who Madam C.J. Walker is. I've never heard of that company. And what was the last one you said?
Motown Records.
Nah, record labels aren't usually listed on the stock exchange.
I will say, doing this research, there were some on there. I'm just playing. It wasn't. It was BT.
It was
BT when BT was founded. It wasn't owned by Viacom yet. It was Robert Johnson,
and it was its own like corporation on the stock exchange.
Yep, it's the first Black-owned business on the New York Stock Exchange. Actually,
didn't know that.
Got you there, nigga. All right. From Philadelphia, this artist originally rose to fame. Dang, it's probably gonna give it. This might give it away as the lead singer of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, but went on to have a successful solo career, releasing 5 platinum albums through the 80s. Do you want multiple choice?
Yeah.
Bobby Womack, Marvin Gaye, Charlie Wilson, or Teddy Pendergrass?
Before you gave multiple choice, I was gonna say Marvin Gaye, but part of me thinks Marvin Gaye was from Chicago, not Philly.
Yeah, he's not from Philly. I will give you
Okay.
that.
Other than Teddy Pendergrass.
Yes. What got you to Teddy? Did you know he was from Philly?
If not Marvin, then I would guess that Teddy was from Philly.
Oh, okay. We'll stick with old school music. One of the most innovative and successful bands of all time, founded in Chicago and originally named the Salty Peppers. This band got their final name after their lead singer's astrological signs.
That's too easy. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Some people have gotten it wrong.
Because you said astrological signs, it's like, what else would it be?
I try to find a good hint, because I know the early part, a lot of people might not get that, the early part of the question. Like my parents was able to get that, but people my age and all that won't be able to get that. But that's the only way I could lead it to that. So there have been some people still haven't been able to get it though. Originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, with their first hit coming in 1959 and their last one in 2001. They're among the few groups to have hit the Billboard Hot 100 with new music in 5 different decades. Who is this group?
Is it the Isley Brothers?
Damn, yeah.
That was not a complete shot in the dark, but that was like my biggest guess of the night so far.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I could tell it by your voice. Who's the first Black lead in a Pixar movie? A Pixar animated movie. Who's the first Black person to be a lead?
Like the character, right?
Yes. Who
Tiana?
played that character? Who played the character?
Oh, I don't know who voiced it.
That's incorrect though.
It wasn't Tiana from Princess and the Frog? Oh, it was well, he's not a lead, but are you talking about Frozone from The Incredibles?
This one when I looked it up on the Pixar page, it said Jamie Foxx for what's that movie? Soul?
Yeah.
It said Jamie Foxx.
Oh, Princess and the Frog is in Pixar. Okay, that's why I messed up.
So that's why. Okay. So Jamie Foxx and Soul. One more old school. As of 2023, this is the only artist to have 7 consecutive singles on the Billboard Hot 100 and holds the record for the best-selling soundtrack album of all time.
Best-selling soundtrack album. I want to say Whitney Houston for The Bodyguard. Because The Bodyguard soundtrack won Album of the Year.
It did.
So I'm gonna say Whitney Houston.
Yes, it's Whitney Houston, which also she has the highest selling album by any female artist as well. Do you know what album that is?
Oh,
no, it's The Bodyguard. It's still The Bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you know what the highest selling album of all time is?
Thriller?
Yeah. Who produced it?
Quincy Jones.
And he was, oh shit, hold on, my laptop ain't charging. Quincy Jones also was just tied with Beyonce for the most Grammy wins of all time. But they'll say Adele because they're with Adele, it's an actual artist. Quincy Jones obviously was producing and composing and all of that. Do you know who Quincy Jones's daughter is?
Damn, what is her? Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
Well, he has a bunch of daughters, but she's like the most famous one.
Yeah, correct. The one that we all know.
Yeah.
All right. Switching to hip hop. These 4 rappers attended high school together in downtown Brooklyn. Hold on. Jay-Z, being one of them, won a legendary freestyle battle with another rapper in their high school cafeteria. Can you name at least this rapper?
Is it Busta Rhymes?
Yes. And then the other 2 rappers was Biggie and DMX.
Biggie would have been my other guess.
Yeah. These 2 rappers. Yep. I mean, none of them graduated, but these 2 rappers who attended high school together and had promising basketball careers went on to form hip hop group Children of the Corn. Later, both having successful solo careers.
Okay, you said these two rappers went to high school together. They had promising basketball careers, but they started a group called Children of the Corn, and then later went solo and had good careers.
Yep.
Children
Both
of the
still
Corn.
alive.
Okay.
One
if
of
they had,
they're both from New York.
yeah.
I don't want to give the city or a borough. I mean, I won't give the borough because it might give it away.
I feel like I've heard the name Children of the Corn before, but I don't know who
You
is in
have.
that.
You definitely have. They've been around for a long time. One of them is still pretty pops up. One of them has the same name as shit. I don't want. It's gonna be too easy. One of them has the same name, first real actual name as a Pittsburgh rapper.
A Pittsburgh rapper. So I mean, the only Pittsburgh rappers I know are Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa.
That's two people.
Huh?
I said, well, there's two people right there. So
I don't think I know Wiz Khalifa's real name. Yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't know.
You want the answer?
Yeah.
Cameron and Mace.
Oh wow.
Wiz Khalifa's real name is Cameron.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, when they was on a song together and they said when both the Camerons get together, so they said it, but Cameron and Mace, yes. Let's see. Oh, I already asked you this one. You remember, I already asked you this one, right? Who's the first New York rapper to appear on a Dr. Dre track?
It was Nas.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. This is random. This is a lyric deep cut, kind of. 50 Cent said, we're going to party like it's your birthday, and they're going to sip what liquor on the said birthday?
Bacardi.
That was easy.
Yeah, I just had to rhyme it.
Did I ask you this? What hip hop icon helped co-write Will Smith's Getting Jiggy with It?
Was it Nas?
Correct.
You know, Nas also ghost wrote Wild Wild West by Will Smith.
I feel like I read that. Actually, because technically Getting Jiggy with It made that Nas's first Grammy win, technically.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but then he won his actual first Grammy when he won Rap Album of the Year a couple of years ago for for what's it called? You know.
King's.
Who's the first rapper ever to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
Songwriters Hall of Fame.
The first rapper ever to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
I know Missy is in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. I don't know if she was the first one. Is it LL Cool J?
No, sir. To me, this is easy. I would think this was easy.
Jay-Z?
Yes.
Okay.
You messed up my second question. I was gonna say who's the first female rapper to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. I think she's actually the only female rapper still in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. See, that goes back to when we was talking about Jay-Z. Like these young folk act like Jay-Z just ain't shit. Like, I don't think they realize a lot of the music he wrote for other people, and he ghost wrote a lot of music for other. I mean, he fucking wrote Dr. Dre's verse on Still DRE.
I mean, here's like an analogy I use, because like rap has come so far since then. I think it's just hard to get younger people to understand like how impactful his stuff was because they weren't there. It's like trying to get someone today to understand why Citizen Kane was considered the greatest movie of all time at one point.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there was probably a time when I was younger, it's like Citizen Kane, that weak ass bullshit. I'm pretty sure it's like somebody like my age or even your age trying to explain to them why Run DMC is that important. Well, nah, because I understand why Run DMC is that important though. So that's not the same. Or like African Bambaataa. No, I still see, for me, I still understand why all those hip hop folk was important in the 80s. I understand that. But I will say there is a difference now where young folk, they really don't care about anything that happened before they were born. They don't,
Mhm.
because even with I was telling my OG at work too, I said the young folk, their parents aren't playing the old school music in the household for them. Because I listen to fucking Whitney Houston all the time and Luther Vandross and the Isley Brothers. Like I listen to that all the time. But the kids that are 21, 22, they don't know shit that came out in 2000. They
Yeah.
don't know shit that came out in 2002. And it's crazy. Like, and some of them call themselves a hip hop head. I said, you don't even know Cameron and Dipset. You're not a hip hop head. Like, and it's so much, and now it's the age of access where you have access to all the music. But
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
I
so
like
what?
yeah, just put a Spotify playlist and like it will give you everything you need.
Yep. But I think when people have more access, it makes them lazier. And now they don't put in the work to go see it, because like I remember when Apple Music and Spotify and stuff was first coming out and I pulled it up, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I can go to any music that I want. I was searching everything out there because I wanted to hear every song that I've ever heard in my life. And then I wanted to hear all the music that I've never heard. And you know what? Without Spotify and Apple Music and all this other streaming, there's a lot of like music from different genres that I would have never heard of. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of the rock music from the 80s, like that emotion, like love rock music and stuff that I would have
Yeah.
never heard. And it's always funny because I always send it to Keegan and be like, have you heard of this? And he's like, yeah, I heard of it in 1997. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just discovering it now. Never heard of it. Like, the rock band Heart. Have you
Yeah.
ever heard? So I heard of them back in the day, but I never listened to their music. And like 2 years ago, I started listening to some of their songs, and I was like, man, this is really good. And I sent it to Keegan and said, have you ever heard of this? He said, yeah, he said, that's like me sending you a Jay-Z song, but have you ever heard of this? Like, yeah, it's very well known in the English speaking world. I'm like, oh, this is brand new information to me. This is crazy.
Yeah.
All
I would
right,
say like
go ahead, go ahead.
aside from like most of what I know about music I got from my parents, but also VH1 taught me a whole lot of stuff
Oh,
with their
yes,
like
correct.
list they would have like the 100 one-hit wonders of the 90s or 100 best
Yep.
songs of the 80s, stuff like that.
See, I miss those. Like,
Me
TV
too.
doesn't show enough music anymore. Like, none of the music channels are music channels anymore. MTV should change its name.
Yeah.
MTV should really just be called TV.
It should be called Ridiculousness Network.
So it should be called RTV, Ridiculousness TV. That's all that comes on MTV.
I'm like, is this the only show they have the rights to? Like, what's
And
going
then,
on?
then they'll sprinkle in what was it, 16 and pregnant. They'll sprinkle that in there out of nowhere, and then they'll go back, and now we're back to 4 hours of ridiculousness. Like, oh my God, like BT, MTV, and VH1 stopped playing music about 9 years ago. They just said fuck it. And it's crazy. I thank God I grew up where they was playing all that music and stuff. But you're right. Like when VH1 was playing the 100 best one hit wonders, 100 best slow jams of the night, or just whatever it was, though, that was really dope. And I remember they used to do every Friday night, best week ever. I used to watch that on VH1 all the time too. But on Saturday mornings, they was all playing music on Saturday mornings. And now reality TV took over every fucking thing, and it really keeps getting worse. And I just discovered what Zeus Network is.
Yeah.
I recently discovered what that is, and these chicks is crazy as shit on there. They're crazy as hell. It's really scary. What reality when reality TV first became a thing, with especially like with Real World and Road Rules, that was actually real shit. That was real. And then you get to the era of Survivor, where it became like competition too, but it was still actually real. But then you get into the mid 2000s to the late 2000s when I got to college, and it was like Flavor of Love and I Love New York and Rock of Love and Charm School, where it all became and Bad Girls Club, where it became about the loudest person, the most violent person becomes famous, and now is taking, like, you just see, like, they love the just arguing and violent, and they don't care that they don't care knowing that it's pretty much scripted.
Right.
Like, they don't care that it's scripted at all, and it's weird. Let's get back to this trivia. All right, this is a good one. I really don't think you're gonna get this at all. There are 3 rappers who sing the chorus on Jay-Z's song "Girls, Girls, Girls." Can you guess who these 3 rappers are?
I know who they are. So it's Slick Rick, Biz Markie, and Q-Tip.
What the fuck? Get out of here, bro. Like, how do you know that?
Now that my dad told me when I was growing up.
That is petty as shit, bro. I'm really that. All right, selling over 74 million records. He is the first artist to debut an album at #1 5 times in a row.
We've talked about this before. It was DMX.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that though multiple times.
Who are the 3 rappers that make up the group 213?
I don't know 213.
All right. Okay, so these 3 rappers first met in 1986 at Long Beach Polytechnic High School, later forming rap group 213.
Is it Corrupt, Daz, and Warren G?
No, one of those names is correct, and 2 of them are not.
Warren G is the right one.
Warren G is correct. I feel like you should be able to get the other 2 now.
Is Snoop one of them?
Correct.
It's Snoop, Warren G. Who else used to run?
Which, you
with
know,
us?
Snoop and Warren G are cousins.
Okay.
And there's one more.
I'm trying to think of someone else who used to collaborate with both of them.
Yep. You're gonna be mad if you don't get it and I say his name.
Is it Devin the Dude?
Which, you know, Devin the Dude is from Texas, right?
I didn't know that, but okay. Damn, who used to run with both of them? I'm trying to think of like another old school Long Beach rapper. So this other rapper, do they have a good solo career on their own?
When you think of this person, you don't think solo career.
Oh, Nate Dogg.
There you go.
Okay.
Which, you know, might be a good for another podcast episode. The top 5 featured artists, because he's one of the best feature artists of all time.
Nate Dogg, you got to put T-Pain in there.
I was about to say, would you say Ty Dolla $ign?
As one of the best of all time, I don't know. Like,
Well,
are you talking about?
Go ahead.
Are you talking about like just singers that are featured with rappers, or like rappers that feature on other rapper songs too?
What do you want to go? Was it easier just to say the best top 5 rapper featured? Now, I was just top 5 featured artists, like with R&B and hip hop, period.
So if it's feature artist, Wayne definitely got to be #1, probably.
I ain't gonna lie, I still might put Nate Dogg #1, bro.
Over Wayne?
I've heard Nate Dogg on all those choruses, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Because there's a lot of songs that you're not even thinking of. And I mean, fucking Regulators is enough just to be like, damn.
I mean, there's Regulate, Boss's Life.
If I type in Nate Dogg,
Can't Deny It, the Fabulous song.
You got Nate Dogg, Nobody Does It Better. Back in the day, like, don't forget you got 21 Questions. Tupac, All About You, shit. Explosive, Dr. Dre. You said Can't Deny It with Fabulous. I don't know if you know Mos Def and Pharaoh Monks. Oh no, but that was dope. Oh, Time's Up with Jadakiss, Lay Low with Snoop Dogg, Gangsta Nation with Westside Connection.
So I think you should divide it, because like those are all really iconic hooks, but Wayne has iconic featured verses.
Those are both featured, though, but they're featured artists. Like I didn't say it's gonna be easy. I didn't say it's gonna be easy, bro.
It's hard to compare them though.
It ain't about comparing. It's just saying who's the top five.
Okay.
Just who's your top five? I mean, I would put Nate Dogg and Lil Wayne both in my top five best feature artists. But it is hard, bro. It is because Lil Wayne had that whole era of just those years where he was just going, like
on everything.
Yeah. But Nate Dogg and Lil Wayne. If I feel like I'm probably forgetting somebody, I can't think right now, but my top two, I would say Nate Dogg and Lil Wayne.
So I would say T-Pain also. And so who's two?
Oh yeah, people? And T-Pain. Ooh. Does it even matter after those three? Ty Dolla had a run. Ty Dolla probably not as much as them, but he had a nice run. He had a run.
Probably Future. Well, I don't know.
About to say, I don't know about that, brother.
Maybe Drake before Future.
Actually, that might be. Now that you say that, that might be true.
Yeah.
But I say don't forget Nate Dogg on Area Codes with Ludacris too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So that'll be it for a whole nother podcast. We just talking about feature artists. Janice will be good on there too. What record label did Snoop Dogg sign to and release 3 albums on after leaving Death Row?
No Limit, and I still think that was a big mistake on Snoop Dogg's part.
Why?
He didn't release good stuff on No Limit.
Shit, he released motherfucking S and double OPDO double GZ DO GZ. You don't remember that?
No, I remember Snoop World.
Young ass nigga.
So I had
but
Snoop World.
His better music came when he got with the Neptunes though, and Pharrell. Yeah. He is that music. That better music came with them though.
Well, I still think Style and The Dogfather are his two best. Well, no, never mind. Doggy Style is his best album. Blue Carpet Treatment is up there too, and then The Dogfather.
I will say, hold on. You're not gonna be feeling me on this, but hold on. There was an album that came out a couple of years ago when I still lived in Florida that was fire as hell. Actually, oh no, Rhythm and Gangsta that came out in 2004 was dope as hell. That's the one they had Drop It Like It's Hot, Let's Get Blown, and those songs, and Signs with Justin Timberlake and Charlie Wilson. Like that album, I remember listening to that, enjoying that like a mug. You know what, Random? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, underrated album. Mac and Dev Go to High School.
I'm with you. That is an underrated album.
Okay, that album was pretty good. I really did enjoy that.
The movie sucked, but the soundtrack
right.
was
The movie was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the album, The Last Meal, that came out in 2000. It had Lay Low. You know the song Lay Low with Master P and Nate Dogg? It had that song on there. That was dope. That was on No Limit. Snoop Dogg. Okay, real quick. If you had to put your personal top 5 favorite rappers, I ain't talking about the top 5 rappers of all time. I don't care about that shit because music is in the ear of the beholder. But who is your top 5 favorite rappers?
Nas, Black Thought, J. Cole.
See, hold on real quick. When people say something like Andre 3000 and Black Thought, I kind of feel like that doesn't count because they're not, yes, they are hella lyricists, blah, blah, blah. But they don't have solo albums. And to me, it's kind of disrespectful to say Black Thought without saying The Roots and Andre 3000 without saying Outkast. Because you don't have Black Thought without The Roots.
I think you could have Black Thought without The Roots.
But you don't. Yeah, if Ips was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But you don't have, but you don't.
Okay, but aside from Black Thought, the other most famous member in The Roots is Quest. What other rappers from The Roots can you...
Questlove is not a rapper. When have you heard Questlove rap?
I mean, the other famous artists from The Roots. So, like, aside from Black Thought, name another rapper from The Roots.
But they're a group. He's not a solo artist, though. They're a group. He can't win awards as Black Thought. I get what you're saying, but he doesn't win awards as Black Thought. The albums aren't called Things Fall Apart, Black Thought featuring The Roots. It's The Roots, though. It is literally the roots. So to me, I rather people say, I just think that's disrespectful to leave out those other artists who mean so much. I get it because he's the only one that raps in the group, but that's their whole collective though. And I just think that's wild when people, I'll take that over when people say Andre 3000 though, because both of them are rapping. Like Andre 3000 doesn't have solo albums. At least with the Roots, Black Thought is the only one rapping in the group though. So, you know,
I mean, that's the thing. Black Thought, he's not even the only one rapping. He's just the only one people know who raps in the Roots.
Wait a minute. He is the only one, but he's rapping like 75% of the lyrics though.
Yes, but they have other rappers in the Roots.
Yes,
We just
I give you, but he's rapping more than half of the lyrics though.
Yeah.
And like with Andre 3000, it's 50-50 with him and Big Boy. It's not like he's doing majority of the work. It's just that Andre 3000 has had really dope features on other people's songs though.
Yeah.
And that's what turned it into. So I hate when they talk about the top 5 rappers, I'm like, Andre 3000 doesn't have a solo career.
But at least Black Thought has a couple solo albums.
Yes, I will give you that. Yeah. Because even Big Boy from Outkast has some solo albums.
Yeah.
And Andre 3000 said, fuck y'all, I'm not releasing music. I'm going to play this harmonica randomly on the streets of Atlanta. Anywho,
I mean,
you said, all right, you said Nas, Black Thought.
J. Cole.
Okay.
This is where it gets harder.
Hold on. So before you keep going, name one album from each artist too. So what's one album from Nas that you would want to take with you?
Take with me where?
Just that one album that you just keep, that like if you can't pick any, what's one album if you had to pick one? And it could be a mixtape too, since we're talking about J. Cole.
My pick for Nas is always Life is Good. I know it's not most people's favorite.
You love that album, bro.
It's almost no one's favorite Nas album, but personally,
it is good. But it is good though.
It is. I've heard some people say it sucks. I love it though.
I think it's that's when you really heard it. It was like, oh, this is him as an adult. This is really grown man hip hop.
Yeah, like that was his first album, I think, where he had like legit OG status.
Yeah, that felt like adult contemporary hip hop.
Yeah.
That's what that felt like. So I totally get that. I fucks with Hip Hop Is Dead though. I like that album.
For me, Hip Hop Is Dead is a top 5 Nas album.
I'm gonna have to go through it and see what I think, but I might agree.
So Life is Good for Nas, J. Cole 2014 Forest Hills Drive. With the Roots, it's always a toss-up between Illadelph Half-Life and Things Fall Apart. I lean more towards Things Fall Apart for the Roots. I would feel bad if I didn't put Kendrick in my top 5. So I'm gonna say Good Kid, Mad City, because that album meant a lot to me when it came out. And then like Good Kid, Mad City sort of like reignited my interest in hip hop, because like I was at a point where I was like feeling like hip hop was boring and like a lot of people were sounding the same.
You was like 17 when that shit came out too. It was the youngest shit.
I was 17.
I know. Damn, I was right. This nigga, young bro, man. This shit all started to get stale. And then you just started listening to music. Get out of here.
And when I first heard Swimming Pools, I was like, oh, this is different. Like, okay. So then I was back.
Kendrick, but he was a breath of fresh air though.
Yeah, he definitely was. And it was like one of the rare instances where like a really like an actually talented, good lyrical rapper was also getting like wide respect from like a wider audience. And
getting radio hits as well. It's not a lot of those, the Jay-Z's, the Kendricks, all of them that are true hip hoppers, lyricists, and get radio hits and respect from his fellow rappers as well. So I feel that too.
Okay, last one. Ugh. It's always hard choosing a last person because then you're shutting out a whole bunch of people.
Yep.
I'm gonna stay true to my estate and say Rick Ross for my 5th.
This nigga truly back in the day, I used to say Rick Ross is underrated, but he's not, because a lot of people fucking love and fuck with Rick Ross though.
Well, mostly in the South. I don't know how people in other regions.
No, people in hip hop period really do fucks with him from a lot of different places. I mean, maybe not the exact same as the South, but everybody knows Rick Ross can ride a beat like a motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I think what has helped with different people from all over the place, because he collabed with Jay-Z so much, Kanye West, and Drake. So he collabed with those three artists a really nice amount of times. And those are three artists that are wide ranging and from three different places. So that really helped it as well. And so other people got to see, because I mean, one of his top three verses is Devil in a New Dress with Kanye. Like that nigga, it might be number one, to be honest. He rode the hell out of that beat. And that is, to be honest, that might be one of my favorite hip-hop beats of all time.
Also, like the thing about Rick Ross, I don't know if a lot of other people notice this. I can tell like he really respects the culture and like the history. He's always shouting out old school legends in his song, like just name dropping people. And I don't know if a lot of people pick up on that.
He really does, though. He really does. And he
Like,
also was able to go ahead. No, what was you about to say?
What was the name of that song? Hold on. I have to think of the name. I used to listen to it all the time.
While you're looking that up, he was also able to withstand the allegations of him being a police officer as a rapper. So shout out to him, being able to. He's one of the rappers that have well, there's been a lot, but one of the rappers that have been able to go through a beef with 50 Cent and get through it.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in undergrad when him and 50 Cent getting Rick Ross's baby mother and doing interviews with her, clowning Rick Ross and shit. 50 Cent is the villain of hip hop. He truly is hip hop's villain. And
the song I'm thinking of is called Family Ties. In that song, first of all, he shouts out the native tongues. What other like Southern like street or mafia rapper shouts out the native tongues? He shouts them out. He shouts out De La Soul. He shouts out Nas in that song. In 10G Pieces, he shouts out the Far Side and Eric B. Rakim.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love when I hear, and obviously he's not one of the young rappers now, but I love when I hear younger rappers always shouting out the old school, like, and not just the old school, but like the underground or the people, the ones that aren't as commercially known. I love when I hear that shit.
But also it's like the type, because Rick Ross, like, whether or not it's a persona or whatever, he is like a straight up gangster rapper. And so like I would expect people like Cole or Kendrick to shout out legends like that, but not someone like Ross to shout out like people who are foundational to the culture like that.
Yep. No, I definitely agree. You don't normally hear that. So Ross rounds up your favorite five. What Ross album?
My favorite Ross album is Deeper Than Rap.
I love Deeper Than Rap. That shit was fire. Yeah. Rick Ross is one of those that he is a good beat selector.
Yes, one of the best.
Yeah, he's got to be top three with being a beat selector. Would you say Jay-Z, is that one part of the reason why he is who he is, that he knows how to select a dope beat as well? Because when you listen to his albums, it's not a lot of beats where you're like, bro, he should have not picked this one. Every once in a while, maybe, but not a lot.
But the thing is, like, when I listen to like older Jay-Z, I feel like a lot of the beats he chooses doesn't age well.
But you gotta remember, it was that era though.
Yeah.
It was that era though. And so people may say early Rick Ross, man, those beats, they may say in 2030, man, some of them Rick Ross beats don't age well. They may say that though. So it's hard to say. I get what you mean, because now you listen to really early, like Reasonable Doubt, some of those beats, those really are beats of the time. But when you say what?
I think In My Lifetime might have been like his weakest beat selection project.
Probably. But then when you listen to like him, Scarface, and everything on Guess Who's Back, that is a futuristic beat that's never gonna get old.
True.
That's always gonna be like forever. But when you go back and listen to like even technically, like when you listen to Reasonable Doubt, it's a classic album, yes. Can I go back and listen to it? Yes. But some of those beats, you really are like, it is definitely 1995 on this shit.
I feel like they age well though. Like which beat from Reasonable Doubt doesn't age?
Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. I didn't say they don't age well, but I feel like when you listen to it, like when you listen to Can't Knock the Hustle, which is still dope. The beat's still dope, but you can totally tell that it's 1995 on that beat.
Brooklyn's Finest too.
Yeah, oh, definitely Brooklyn's Finest. But when you listen to like Guess Who's Back with Scarface, that shit kind of still feels like something that was made today.
Mhm.
Like that sounds like it was made today. Even if you listen to Kanye Through the Wire, no, and that's definitely a beat of his time with the sped up samples, but that still sounds like something that could be made today, though. You know, like when I listen to Just Blaze and Cameron, oh boy, that still feels like something that can be made today.
That beat still goes hard.
Yeah, that still goes. All right, next, another question. What hip hop icon was once a member of hip hop group World Class Wrecking Crew?
Dre.
Okay, all right. What two basketball teams was playing against one another on Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day?
The Lakers and the Supersonics.
All right. Whose house was Ice Cube visiting when they were watching Yo MTV Raps and Today Was a Good Day?
Trying to remember that lyric.
I'll give you a hint. It's related to one of the feature artists we was talking about earlier. One of the best feature artists.
Nate Dogg?
It's kind of related to that, I'll say.
Did he go over Warren G's house?
No, Short Dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said we was at Short Dog watching Yo MTV Raps. See, we need those shows back again.
Is that Too Short?
No, I don't know who Short Dog is. He just said Short Dog. Yeah, I was just saying related to Nate Dogg cause a dog. That's all. Just to give a hint. What producer directed the video for Outkast's debut single "Players Ball"?
I know this. Was it Hype Williams?
He's not a producer. Then producers, rap producers. Well, not just rap all the time.
Wait, repeat the question.
What producer directed the video for Outkast's debut single "Players Ball"?
Oh, and you were saying Hype Williams not a producer. Dang. And you said it's not a rap producer.
No, I'm saying like they produce R&B, pop, hip hop.
Is it Jermaine Dupri?
It's a good guess because Atlanta, but no, sir. I can tell you ain't gonna get this one.
Nah.
Puff Daddy.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed that. Now that you say it, it makes sense.
What Atlanta rapper was once a walk-on basketball player for Alabama State before turning his career to a DJ and then rapper?
2 Chainz.
Was that easy?
For me, because I just knew that, but most people probably don't.
What this musical collective based in Atlanta with heavy funk and soul influences. Artists like Outkast, Killer Mike, Future, and Organized Noise have come from here. Name this collective.
We've talked about this before. It's Dungeon Fam.
I didn't think he's gonna remember.
Yeah.
Because I've only had, as many times I've asked this question, only like 2 people have ever gotten it. That's one of my favorite questions because no one gets it. What ATLian is cooler than a polar bear's toenails?
Big Boy.
I thought it was gonna be a little bit harder. Just a little bit.
But remember, I like 90s rap.
Well, I think you'll get this. I may have asked it before. I can't remember. Originally from Philadelphia, he helped usher in the gangster rap era while he was signed to Death Row Records.
Corrupt?
Yes, Corrupt. It's always wild to really think that he is from Philly and not from LA.
Well, you know, a rapper, like an actual Philly rapper, is credited as making the first gangster rap song. His name is Schoolie D, and he made a song called
I've heard that name. I've heard that name,
Yeah.
actually. I didn't know that.
Like, even Ice-T will tell you I was inspired by Schoolie D.
What producer spent many of his teenage years in Philadelphia once being part of the legendary Roots band, went on to producing records with Dr. Dre and Timbaland.
Scott Storch.
Damn, how'd you guess that?
I knew who Scott Storch was and that he was part of the Roots.
Oh, you knew that? Most
Yeah.
people don't know that, so that's why. Well, damn. Who were the 4 members of the hip hop group formed in New Orleans, Hot Boys?
Wayne, Turk, BG, and Juvenile.
People always be forgetting Turk.
Mhm. I couldn't name a Turk song if you had a gun to my head, but I just know he was part of. Yeah.
Who is the only rapper to have a Grammy, Oscar, and Emmy award?
We have definitely talked about this.
I don't remember that now.
You said a Grammy, Emmy, and Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
We have, but
he's only 1 award away from getting the EGOT.
I forgot who it is, but you definitely asked me this question before.
Oh, but you don't remember. Shout out.
My guess was always Ludacris, and that's wrong.
Yeah, because Ludacris actually, I think he has a Grammy and an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no. Ludacris has a Grammy and an Oscar. He doesn't have an Emmy because he obviously has a Grammy for his music, and then he has an Oscar for being in the movie Crash.
Yeah. Yeah, the Emmy is always the part that trips me up because I can't think of any rappers who have Emmys. Just give it to me.
Common.
That's right.
That's easy now that I said it, right? Thinking about it.
What does he have an Emmy for again? You've told me before, but I forgot.
I don't forget again. Let me look it up real quick. Common Emmy Award. Well, let me put Common Rapper Emmy Award. Of course, he had that song for Letter to the Free on the documentary 13th.
Right.
Right. He was like, yeah, whatever that shit is. What rapper was a walk-on basketball player for St. John's?
J. Cole.
I was about to say, if you don't know that. All right, one more before we move on. Which 2 artists are the only hip-hop artists to have 2 albums in the top 10 high-selling albums of all time for hip-hop? So there's only two rappers have albums in the top 10 high-selling albums of all time hip-hop albums. Does that make sense?
So these are 2 hip-hop albums.
2 rappers both have 2 albums in the top 10 high-selling rap albums of all time.
So M has to be one of them.
That one's easy, yes. The second one is where it gets a little tricky.
Highest selling. I'm thinking it's probably someone who came out before the streaming era. 50 Cent.
Nope. That people always guess that. Close. No, I mean not close, but he was pretty close. I think his what's it called was not like number 11.
Damn. Is it Kanye?
Nope.
Oh, you know what? I think when you tell me the answer, it's gonna make me mad because it shouldn't be like this rapper shouldn't have it, but I think it's one of those.
I don't know. I think you might respect this. No, you're gonna be mad. You're gonna be upset. I will say that. You're gonna be kind of upset.
Okay, if I know I'm gonna be upset, is it
But
is it Will Smith?
May be you're gonna be upset for a different reason. And no, it's not Will Smith.
Damn.
You're gonna be upset for a different reason, not because who it is, just because what one of the albums is. That's why. Kirk Franklin there.
In hip hop albums?
I'm just playing.
Oh, I would say. Yeah, I don't know.
It's Tupac. And the second one is the greatest hits, Tupac.
Okay. That does make sense.
So that's why you'd be a little upset because it was Tupac's greatest hits on there. All right, Well, that was a lot of trivia. You did really well.
I know.
You did. All right, nigga. All right, we're gonna come back. We're gonna do America's favorite game, Florida or nah. We're gonna miss Janice for this one. But we'll be right back. Chicken Liquor Hour.